Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, this is part two in the ongoing saga of Chad Daybell, who is the husband of Lori Vallow, and his recent arrest the other day after a search warrant was successfully issued and served on the property that he had lived in with his wife Tammy, and he had also raised his boys on this property as well. Now, this property, to clear up some confusion on the internet, is in Salem, Idaho, not Salem, Oregon, or Salem, Massachusetts. This is in Salem, Idaho. And during the search warrant, they brought in. This is their second search, though. To be clear, also on that, during this search, they brought in backhoes and they were paying close attention to the area of in and around the old well on the property that had a metal cover that went over the top of it, along with that well, and actually searching in the well itself. They actually served and searched with backhoes and paying close attention to the fire pit area and outdoor seating area where there's a circle of lawn chairs that are set up in this area and logs for people to sit on. According to Chad's neighbor, his closest neighbor, who would actually speak, who lives across the street, and what would be, if you're looking at it from an overhead view, be across the street and to the left of the property. It was very well known that Chad and Tammy used to have large gatherings there. Sometimes as many as 15 or 20 other people would gather there, and they would have children running around, and their children as well. And it was just an outdoor activity that they liked to enjoy. They would sing songs, they would play music, they would, talk, and just have basically a backyard, like a little bonfire. And sometimes the bonfires did get larger than others, especially when Chad was burning, yard waste and alike items from the actual property. The property is listed on the county records as just over 4 acres total. That includes the area around the house and the entire back part of the property. So there's also a second parcel that is separate from that. I should add, but so total land that he had control of is over that. But the main property where the house and outbuildings are is just over 4 acres. Now, he lived there with Tammy, and Tammy died in this house. This is where she died at in her sleep. During the search of this property, they found in the police and several statements from the police thereafter said that they had found human remains. I was not able to, in the video before, confirm if they'd found remains of one person or of two. Even though, yes, the mayor had made a statement, maybe it was a slip of the tongue, maybe he was guessing at it, maybe he was going on a hunch that what he had been told, and then exaggerated on top of that. But yes, they have found the human remains of not one individual, but two. Now, it needs to be said, at the same time that they have confirmed, they have human remains of two people that were found on that property in and around the well and fire pit area. They are not confirming entirely that this is JJ and this is Ty Lee. Most likely it is, but that is not confirmed. The remains will be gathered up after they're completed their search there, and they will be sent to the Idaho State Medical Examiner's office to be reconstructed, and then and only then, after they've done that and they've run DNA testing from them, will they be able to confirm if they were Ty Lee and JJ. Now, regardless of what somebody says in the media between now and then, it is not 100% confirmed that these are the remains of Tylee and JJ. We do not have confirmation of that. And anybody who says otherwise is only speculating on that. So, will Chad and Lori face murder charges? That's the question that everybody wants to know. Did they do it? And when will they face murder charges, or will they be facing murder charges? Well, one thing is certain. You didn't get the human remains from someplace else. Somebody had to commit the act of murder. Was it Chad? Was it Lori? Was it Alex? If not them, who else could it be? Who else would have done something this horrific? And at the same time, as a mother, in Lori's case, how do you lower yourself to the point where you know that not only are your children gone, that they were murdered, but then their bodies were burned at a site where so many happy memories had occurred with them, because they had been to this farm a lot after Tammy had died. Happy memories. Chad being there with his children, watching them grow up, skin their knees, grow up into become young men, and then burn them, destroy them, to rid the world of their existence. How do you lower yourself to that point? As shocking as it is, these two people know exactly what happened and who actually killed them. Does this mean, let's say hypothetically, that Alex was the one that actually killed Tylee and JJ? Does that mean that Chad and Lori cannot face murder charges? Absolutely not. It doesn't mean that at all. They can be charged with manslaughter, premeditated murder, accessories to the murder. There's a lot of different charges that could be added, for both of them on this. As for bail for Chad, well, they can't come up with the bail for Lori. I highly doubt they're going to come up with the bail for Chad if he goes through it, and if there are, like Lori, probably, his attorney, if he does, he's going to seek more other legal counsel besides Mr. Means. The attorney he had on record up until Lori last day in court, where for her bail reduction hearing, that attorney and that law firm no longer represents Chad Daybell, and they have released a statement that says they do not represent Chad Daybell any longer. So he would have to find other legal counsel besides Mr. Means, who is representing Lori. And at this point, it'd be the best thing for him to try to get his case separated from Lori's, because you don't want to have a jury hearing both cases. Have them tried together, because the evidence that could be used against Lori would definitely be used against him and his guilt. Now, do I think that Chad had anything to do with the murders of Tylee and JJ? The answer is yes, I do. I do believe, because of teachings, his spiritual visions, him listing them and telling their mother, who at this point had given up all control to him in his visions, when he told her that these children were zombies, that their souls were gone. I believe that it was a lot easier, and it set up the deaths of both of them. Do I think he personally did it? No, I don't. But then again, as we've learned from everything from this case so far, it is one serious twist after another. You never know what's going to happen next in this case. Just when you think you've figured it out and you're following a path of logical reasoning and understanding in it, something like this comes up. I hoped and prayed that Tylee and JJ would be found hidden away in some bunker, and that they had married Tylee off to some member of their church who wanted to keep a young wife off the record, someplace, and that JJ was safe. Those hopes are pretty much all gone now, especially in light of the events of yesterday. I should add in closing, though, the Center for Missing and Exploited Children will not really remove either Tylee or JJ from the Center for Missing and Exploited Children until the remains that have been found are confirmed to be of them. This is unfortunate, and it's a sad twist to a case that never should have happened. We never should have gotten to the point where we're looking and digging up the remains of two children on a home that had so many happy memories for themselves and for others. Thank you for joining me today.